right. Okay, I've got, well, what's with the quality? Is this one? So I've been messing around with the settings on OBS, and I cannot tell if how poorly things are going in terms of quality. So, well, I'll figure it out eventually in the law of this. I literally can't tell if the quality is low or not. You know what? I'm going to just ignore it. Yeah, I'm going to just ignore it, and yeah, hopefully everything is okay. If it's not, someone let me know and I'll try to fix it. Keyword being try, because I don't quite understand. So anyway, I'm working on this illustration. Just started working on a new illustration, first illustration of the year, hooray! And so yeah, I painted this cloud thing in the background. It's nowhere near done, but I didn't want to spend too much time working on that, because that's going to be the fun part. So I should leave it for later. And I want there to be a tree somewhere in the foreground, maybe the middle ground, and from there we're gonna have a character sitting on it. And I'm going back to my like Afro-futuristic illustration, inspired illustration, which means that the design is going to have to change. So there's a lot of work to do, but that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm going to start on the tree first, and then from there we can work on the character. The character is going to be the more difficult part, I think. That's what I was worried about. So I was wondering what music I should have playing in the background. I should just go to the classic. Yeah, I tried some Tekken soundtrack, and it can get very loud and obnoxious sometimes. I don't like some of the songs though. Anyway, so what we're gonna do now is just start painting in a tree, which I haven't done in a while, so that's gonna be fun. I don't think these are the colors, but it doesn't really matter. I can use color balance to switch. That's so. People have asked me how I get my colors when painting, because they usually say that I have really cool colors, and the reason why I'm able to get such interesting colors in my work is because I don't actually care about colors at all. So what happens is that I use very vague, non-committal colors, very desaturated, very monochromatic colors, and from there I start tweaking it with the tools I have available on Photoshop: color balance, selective color, and even using some LUTs, which are presets that I usually use when making video work. I'll just throw it in there. So I usually basically go through a phase where I'm experimenting with colors on my illustration. But I haven't gotten to that phase yet though. So that being said, I do already know the general color vibe, even though it's not going to be this exact orange or yellow that we're seeing in the clouds. I know it's going to be something like this. The specifics I can figure out later, you know. So also, if you check the previous stream, I also did a portrait, and you can see how, well, I mean, the stream was crashing on me, so apologies about that, but you can check and see how I used color, or you can just keep watching. I'm going to do the same in this one eventually. So I need a tree. I'm going to need like a light color somewhere. I think like maybe a lighter. More be saturated. So something I like a lot is that if you take a warm color and then you desaturate it, and it gets cooler, like because of all the warm color surrounding it. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly lay in like some trees, because the design is going to be very important. I'm going to need to mess around with a lot of branches, shapes and stuff like that. It would be a nice idea to maybe grab some reference for trees and the like, but I don't. So one of the things that kind of limits me as a painter is my lack of knowledge of the real world rather. And by that I mean that I've tried, but I haven't successfully like downloaded a lot of like concepts into my memory. For example, there was this time I was painting a dog and there was this character corner that I designed, and this character has a dog. Now, I knew the kind of dog I wanted, but I didn't know what they were called. Now, most people probably know the difference between like a beagle or a golden retriever or what have you. But in my mind at the time, I only knew dog, So if I needed a reference, I would just type dog on the internet, and I would get a bunch of photographs that had nothing to do with what I wanted, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get the proper reference, because I wasn't well versed in dogs to know the difference between the kinds of dogs that they are. Same thing with trees. I'm sure someone or a lot of people out there know the kinds of trees that exists, or when they think of tree, they know what particular type of tree to go search for reference wise. But if I was going to look for reference for this right now, I'll probably type tree, not find what I'm looking for, get disheartened, and then stop looking for reference. That's usually my experience. I don't know how to search for reference, and that's why I don't use it. I need to get better at that. Anyway. Okay, so there is something that's interesting here where the character that's going to be painted soon-ish is going to be sitting on like a tree trunk, not a tree trunk, on a branch somewhere, and I'm going to need to figure out how to do that. Ooh, I'm going to be streaming a lot more frequently this year. I'm actually trying to get some things in order, and once they are, I'm going to have a streaming schedule, maybe like 4 or 5 times a day. I mean a week, and see how that goes. Because I'm going to be painting regardless, so if I'm going to be doing a lot of like personal work, I might as well just get used to streaming them. Okay. We've got some tree. Luckily, I'm not getting any lag or freeze up like we did last time as of yet. Though maybe I just jinxed it, who knows? Alright. Okay. Alright. So now that I have some structure here, what I can do, so the character is going to be sitting around here somewhere. I'm going to have to redraw this whole thing. I don't like it, but she's going to be sitting somewhere around there, and that means I'm going to need like some sort of protruding branch over here, maybe from a different tree. There's going to be a lot of flowers and leaves as well, so I can probably wing things a bit. I want this to look almost like a book cover type illustration. That was kind of, when I started doing illustrations, that was kind of the thing I gravitated towards, doing a lot of book covers. I did some book covers for like, fantasy novels and stuff, and I really liked the concept, and I was following a lot of artists who work almost exclusively on book covers, and even the ones who didn't, like Jason China does a little bit of everything. My favorite work of Jason China isn't his concept art that I never get to see. There are his book covers, which is kind of why I'm sad that Jason China has been working full-time in Riot. Like, I'm glad he's getting work at one of the big game companies, but at the same time it's kind of frustrating as a fan, and it's kind of frustrating that I'm not able to see his work anymore, or his freelance stuff, because I really do enjoy and miss his book. He still does them on occasion, but you actually have to go digging for it now, which is hilarious. Let me see if I can flip without breaking anything. Alright. Yeah, you actually have to go looking for it. Every few months, I Google search Jason Chan book covers and find some YA thing he did. He's done. He didn't post it, but the author probably posts the cover on their website, and then that's the way I usually find it. Infuriating. Though it's kind of funny, Jason Chana's kind of famously known as someone who rarely updates his website. I have friends who have met him in person too, which makes me super jealous. It's like I would like to like sit in his studio and watch him paint something one day. Okay. I guess I could have this angled downwards. Yeah, I'm going to spend probably an hour on this tree because getting the shape right is going to be very important. Because that's gonna dictate basically the it's basically part of the composition of the piece. I don't like how the trunk's basically still like this. I think maybe moving it to this side, but finding an elegant way to do so. Oh gosh. Alright. I do not particularly like maybe at no point, I don't know. I also need to try to introduce some perspective, which is going to be kind of hard to do. Okay, so something that I like to do in this type of scenarios is to grab the entire thing, right? And then use the warp tool. Is this good? The point being to have a much more interesting shape. So from this to this, I can't tell if that's more interesting, to be honest. You know what? I'm going to go back and maybe try using the perspective tool for a bit. Maybe having it like so. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave it like this for now, and then we'll come back to shaping it after I've done a bit more rendering. Okay. Oops. Okay. So. I'm not concerning myself about the lighting for now. Maybe I should, but like in this piece, it's not going to be as important. And I usually like to do things in stages, and right now, I am more interested in trying to make the tree look more three-dimensional, which probably means I need to start. I need to start giving it some shadows. It doesn't really matter where, as long as it looks more 3D. Maybe some car shadows, but that'll be after I place the figure on the tree. Should this be lower perhaps? Okay. Okay, so if I had, where would I want the character to sit? I mean, having her makes more sense actually. I mean, if we cut that, hold on. Yeah. I'm going to save now and focus on. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a second to focus on the other, like the leaves and their placements, which is going to really help sell the composition. Problem is that I'm not very good at leaves. I still don't have a. This is where reference will come in handy. But instead of reference of leaves, reference of other artists' interpretation of leaves. Leaves, cloud, grass. There are a lot of these. I don't know, these things that you really can't feasibly paint it kind of realistically, and you kind of have to interpret it and paint it in a style that's suited to you. A lot of artists have already done the work of stylizing a realistic, say, hair, for instance. So it's a lot easier to look at what an artist you like and see how they interpret hair and why you like it than just going on it on your own, because you might spend like 5 times longer to arrive at the same conclusion. At least that's how I view it. So in this specific case though, I don't know how to paint or how to stylize leaves. I know some people use brushes, but being someone who's been using Photoshop for like a very long time now, you would think I would have had like a like an army of brushes just ready to be used for any given like painting, but I do not have a leaf brush, say, which is kind of unfortunate. So if I wanted to paint a leaf, I'm going to have to paint it the same way I paint pretty much everything, by hand, without a pattern. So let me give it an indentation over here. Alright, so yeah, so yeah, let's see how I'm gonna get some leaves or flowers here. How do I do this? Do I even want some? I was thinking having something, let me see if I can show you guys, something around here. So you have, I don't know. We have something on this side, and maybe some behind that tree. Like to frame it, so we have the tree in the middle, and then we have something in the super foreground. Well, in the foreground, I guess, in this case. And yeah, that's the initial plan, but I would need to see if it works with the illustration. Maybe the more bare bones. Or maybe instead of tiny little leaves, I could have huge leaves, right? So instead of those tiny little like leaves, I could have like some kind of unnaturally large leaf. I could have one covering the super foreground or multiple. Oh, I could have like isn't creating a tangent, but we could have something like so. I do not know. I mean, it's probably good, but a bit. I don't know. It feels like maybe the canvas should be longer. We'll think about that later. Like I said, this is probably where reference will come in handy. So I am going to just spend like 2 minutes and figure out what to do reference wise. So I need to go do I have anything? I'm checking my favorite folder, a folder where I keep like my favorite illustrations to see if there's anything that I want. Oh, interesting. When I do illustrations like this, the first place I go to, the first like place I turn to is Studio Ghibli. I have like I took a bunch of screen caps of their work, but I don't recall any forest in particular, but I took a bunch of screen cap of their work so I could like use them as reference for background related things like this is. But right now I can't recall a specific like vibe. Anyway. Okay, so I don't think I've come across anything. The thing that I don't do a lot of like, I don't draw a lot of trees. So when I'm looking through my folders of things I kept because I like it, it usually ends up being basically people's faces. A lot of portraits, because that's usually what I usually go for. Okay, so these are some pretty interesting trees. They're a bit too much for what I'm going for. A bit too dead. Let's call it quits for now, and let me. So I'm using this app. What's it called? PureRefs, I think, to compile a bunch of reference, so I can use one as a visual guide when painting. I do it a lot nowadays. It's been very helpful. I mean, this might work, but the problem that's if I go overboard on the tree, it's gonna take away from the cloud that's supposed to be the main attraction of the illustration, which means that my tree has to be fairly simple. Trees go. I'm just going to progress, I think, for now. And I'll look for reference a bit. As I said, this is always what happens. I try looking for reference. I don't find anything too exciting or interesting, and I give up. And that was it. That was the entire process. So, it's happening again. I will not find it funny. Anyway, I am seeing some things, but I don't think they're particularly useful. I'm just going to keep them in hand just in case they turn out to be of use to me. This is a cool guide. Okay. Wow. There's this artist that just literally has like trees, a lot of trees. And guides on how to light them as well. mean, I'll have to study this off stream, but this is really cool. Anyway, yeah, I'll have to study this off stream. This is pretty cool. Anywho, what have we got here? Let's take this. Progress it. It's free. Actually, it's pretty good. It balances the tree out. Oops. Did not mean to do that. I forgot to bound some of the buttons on my tablet monitor to do things such as flip the canvas, which I should probably remember. And I have all these tools, but I don't use them, which is just, disappointing, really. Look like it's going down much lower. That's good. Okay. Have maybe more pink shadows. Yeah, I'm just trying to slowly add in more interesting colors. Another thing about colors that I do a lot is that I don't care. I use any random color that looks cool. I will place it in my illustration anywhere as long as it shares the same value space. So for example, this blue that is right here looks really out of place, but if you look at the grayscale, see how this part kind of like blends in to the tree, even though if you look at it in the color, you can clearly see it stands out a bit more. So that's something I usually like to play around with. It will change a lot my value structures because of how I apply color and move things around, like I said earlier, with color balance and lots and selective color and all that. Because of that, my values are going to end up changing whether I like it or not. So I always have to make sure that I go back and take a look at my color and at the relations. If it does something interesting and unforeseen, like something that's cool and I didn't see it coming, I wasn't planned, then take the free color. So I'm going to just put this here for now. And you know what? I think we have something pretty interesting. It's not too bad. Let's see. Whoa. So, yeah, I'm going to take this blue. I like it. And I'm going to just cover most of the shadows with it for now. Oops. Okay. Let's not go too crazy with it though. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I should probably save this. I also have to make sure to save my canvas because of how my computer likes to freeze up every once in a while. Nothing worse than losing all your progress. Anyway, so now that we've got that, we can focus on something else for a bit, I think. This is a pretty decent base for our tree. The character is going to be pretty small in the illustration compared to how I usually paint characters, but so I don't know how much detail exactly I should go into. So before I do that though, let me show you guys what I was talking about earlier on. So right now I'm going to just go to image adjustment and color balance, and then I am going to try to balance the colors to make it sit better with the background, which means probably adding a bit of the cooler colors, blues and magentas, and make it look like it's in the same place. Not too much, but just a little bit. You also have to be careful because this can push your value into places that you're not too comfortable with. Okay. I do like some of the more cooler lights on the highlight, but not too much. Alright, decent base. We're going to then proceed to work on the character. Later we'll bring everything together and I'll show you guys how I do that. But for now, I did this quick character thing yesterday. I don't like it. So I'm gonna try to work a bit on the design. Also, I just flipped the canvas, but it's gonna help fix some of my issues. So yeah, let's work on this for a bit. So what I don't know is I don't think I want her staring like forward really. There's a lot I'm not sold on here. You know what? Let's just duplicate you in case I mess something up too bad. And let's start by reducing this ease for a bit. Okay, so now that I've spent the last month or so painting, I'm drawing and exclusively using Clip Studio Paint. Coming back to Photoshop is kind of difficult for me. I actually considered just doing the drawing in Clip Studio and then come back to Photoshop to paint, but decided against it. Thought it might be a waste of time I do not have. So anyway, Character wise, I don't know. I'm thinking either. I don't know if I want. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to see how this would work if I put her face in profile, maybe, which is going to be a whole thing. Maybe I'll need to move the body as well, just to try it out. If it doesn't work out, then it's fine, So something that I have not been doing a lot, and I've been thinking of maybe finding a way to do. Maybe if I got rid of this, of the what are they called? What are those called? Pigtails? I don't know. I don't know hair either. There's a lot of illustrations. A lot of like African tribal paint that I could have applied in my illustration for a while now, and I haven't really been doing that. I'm thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to do something like that at some point. But it's just trying to do a lot of this like Afro-futuristic type illustrations has been tedious, because what that does is that I need to actually sit there and basically design an entire art style, because there is not much to go off of because of the lack of interest in that subject by other artists or creators. So outside of, say, I don't know, the Black Panther movie, there's not been much touching, blending African aesthetics into futuristic design. Right? I think it might be better if I get it right. Might need to look at some design, some designs for the fashion, or at the very least just like necklaces. I have a Pinterest album with a bunch of African designs and patterns that I like to go to from time to time. I'm gonna take a break soon and go have some lunch and then come back. I think I prefer the head in this in this area. The question is, I don't know how, again, was it last stream? Yeah, it was last stream I was talking about how I don't know how, or the best way to approach my characters. I don't know how realistic I want them to be, or how anime I want them to be. You know, and I don't know why that is. I feel like maybe I'm a bit too worried that I'm using a stylized aesthetic as a crutch. Which I shouldn't be, but I don't know if that's what is actually going on with it. It could be that maybe I just, I don't know. It's either that, or it could just be that I don't know how to draw realistically, and I feel like, you know, I'm using that as a crutch because, you know, I don't know how to draw realistically. In which case, you know, it would make. Should I do this up or something? I mean, once the eye thing, it would be cool. I don't think I've ever painted a bald lady before. Okay, so. Maybe I should make the fabric a little more interesting and flowing. Oh boy. We'll figure all that out later. So design. Size here. I like exploring in paint if I haven't made this clear in the past. So me giving that up to try to learn how to draw has been tedious. But you know, it's worth it, I think. Right. Let me go grab. Let me go grab some design ideas from my phone first. It's starting to get to me. Okay. Let's see. So I could give. I could. That's cool. It's true. I really haven't painted anyone with a hijab yet. I could do that. Oof, there's a lot that I could do. Well, okay. That's a cool idea. This is also a really cool illustration that I forgot I had. Alright. That could work, I think. Alright, I mean, let's try this. So instead of having this was gonna be like a fur. We kind of wanted how to be like royalty. I decided to go with this fur thing, which I might come back to if I don't like where I'm going with this. But how does it even sit? I think Okay, so reason why it looks, I think the fact that it kind of follows the head shape, maybe. I'm gonna need more specific refs, I think. Let me save view here first, and then I mean, I know how the men wear it. Okay, something a bit more like this, I think. So it kind of covers. Oh, that's gonna be hard to design around because it kind of covers most of the face. Okay. Interesting challenge. I don't hate it. So it's less of a. It's like, okay, so it usually extends pretty far back, right? And it's very tight around the face. Kind of hugs the face, really. And all the way up to the neck. The shape does make it easier for the paint to stand out, I think. So we would have something like so. This be okay? So if I flip this, yeah, this could go completely below. Having this maybe just like, it depends on how realistic I want to go with this, to be honest. It would depend a lot. Just gonna close most of the face. Actually, so we would have this cover the top part, then the cycle covering the bottom part, then have this take most of the something like so. It's not bad, I actually like it. Yeah. And would have this replicate the same paint. Should I make this longer and have it covering most of? Because there was nothing covering the chest to begin with, which left this area with not much design. I could do something like this and have that here. Give me an extra angle for the cloth. I kind of like it, but I'm going to need to fix her proportion now. I wanted her to be like a young princess type character going in, and I still want that, but I think I need to raise. It totally depends. She has a big head now that is throwing the entire proportions out of whack. So I do like this though, but what's the best way? Yeah, just close this. Let's add something there, and flowing fabric. I don't know if the fabric should be down or if it should be flowing with wind. I don't know if there should be wind, actually. This is going to require a lot more compositing that I was expecting. Okay, but that's fine. That's fun. Composition is one of my favorite aspects of the fundamentals of painting. I find it fun because, well, you aren't really painting, you are coming up with ideas, which is the fun bit. Then everything else is just tedious. Which is funny because I remember people used to say that when I started painting, I used to watch a lot of pros and stuff, and they would say something similar to that, how they preferred the initial phases and hated the painting part. And I never really understood them. I'm like, what do you mean? Now I get it though. Now I get it. After you've done enough of this, painting becomes so repetitive and tedious, while the idea phase is the fresh parts where you have to constantly come up with something, or constantly, like, use new tools, go learn stuff about the world and bring it into your piece. And then once you've done that, then the bobbing stuff comes into play. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to find this like fusion between like fashion, like modern fashion, and African, like, I guess this is more East African design. And even though I am from West Africa, I have been trying my best to include designs from all around the continent, because there is so much there that I feel like it wouldn't be a good idea to just limit myself to West African designs when there is so much Africa can offer as a continent, and there's so much to show people as well. You don't get to see you don't get to see these type of things very often in media. There's like, for example, Disney's Encanto just came out, and Disney's Encanto just came out, and it's one of their multiple stuff that have to do with the natives of the continent, but they do have nothing on Africa. Well, except Lion King, which is, well, the lions for starters, and yeah, and what is it? Tarzan, which is racist on a number of levels. Uh, but that was to be expected. The book itself was even more racist, if you could believe it. So yeah, there is not a lot when to look at when it comes to African media or African inspired media. So you know, I kind of have to. That's kind of like my goal with my illustrations now. Just to show people that there is a lot that can be done. There's a lot of. I think it came because I grew up with anime and I enjoyed that whole thing. Uh, I enjoyed being the keyword there. I've been kind of disillusioned with anime or just most media in general, but anime is one of the big ones. But I used to really enjoy manga and anime, and because of that cultural import, I know how to paint multiple kinds or draw multiple kinds of, say, Japanese specific ghosts, for instance. But I couldn't paint you any ghosts from the entire African continent. I wouldn't know what they look like, you know. I can paint you multiple kinds of yokai, but I don't know a visual for any single African spirit. You know, I could paint a Japanese princess. I can think of the kimono. I can think of the kind of like design that would go on it. Maybe something like koi fish, for instance. There's a lot you could do. But when it comes to a lot of African designs, I just don't have anything. And that realization made me, just, well, he made me realize that I needed to really step up my game and study a lot more African designs. But because this is Afrofuturism we're doing here, I also can't just sit on a traditional African design. The entire challenge and the point is trying to bridge it, trying to find the bridge between the two. Try to take traditional African designs into the future. And I'm not the only one doing it. There's a lot of African like fashion shows, which entire concept is that taking African designs into the future. But they always, I'm trying to, I don't know. I'm trying to take it into a hopeful future, a future I would want, which I not all Africans would agree. It's a future where we don't really have culture as it stands. Not Africa, but nobody has. So culture is like a relic of the past, and people just wear whatever just wear whatever they think is cool, and just it's a clash of designs from all over, and a future where the concept of continents and countries is just gone. It's like a relic of the past. So again, I explained why in a previous video, but yeah, I explained why I enjoy mixing and like different, like the designs from different cultures, why I enjoy mixing it. So, and yeah, I just hope that I can find a way to, for instance, like I was talking about the kimono earlier. It would be nice to find to do a design that is definitely a kimono unmistakably, but it's also unmistakably African. Like you can just merge the two. That I think would be very cool. Um, this character isn't going to be very like she's going to be very small on the entire thing. So I don't know how much detail I should put here. That's kind of what's throwing me off. Anyway, um, let's do this for a bit. Um, bunnies. I'm not very good at drawing rabbits. I need to make the nose smaller, I think. My younger sister is like obsessed with rabbits, and she wants one. She wants one really bad. She's gonna call it Bun Bun. Yeah. Gonna need a reference for this because not looking great. Not looking terrible, but not looking great. I also like to include some African themed, like there's some African like more unique animals. Again, like how you would like just again, Japan isn't a continent, by the way. It's a country and a fairly small one at that. And yet, design wise, I can think of more unique animals there, like their dog looking. Uh, yeah, I've forgotten what the animal is called. But I can draw it like visually. And when it comes to African unique African animals, I am kind of stumped. I mean, I know of some, obviously, but not a lot. And when you do, it's usually some feral stuff like hyenas. But there are a lot of other lesser known animals there. Trees as well, unique trees. Um, I was thinking of making this tree have I don't know what's called in English actually. There is this tree that I had in my house in Nigeria, and it was a really it had it has this fruit that you know it's very sweet, and all the kids in the neighborhood wanted some, and me being the smartass that I was, I just claim it. This is my tree. If you want some, you're gonna have to ask me. I mean, of course, I'll let them take as much as they want. It wasn't really my tree, but you know, I don't know what it's called in English actually. I need to go look that up later. Anyway, yeah, I like that. I like where the design is going right now. I think it has a African vibe. more Fulani inspired. Nope. Okay. All right, that isn't too bad. Can have some of this. I could think of something else to do design-wise later on, but for now, it's better than what we had. Definitely, I like it a lot better than this. Definitely better than whatever this was. Yeah. Okay. That being said, though, there's gonna be a lot of. The reason she has no eyes now is because painting eyes at this is 400%. Painting eyes like this is going to be very, very tedious, and I'm still trying to learn how to like not paint eyes but just imply them as good artists do, but I don't know how to do that, so that's gonna take a lot of trial and error. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Just not working out. Oh, also another thing that I find particularly interesting to talk about is the like the I was talking about more realistic and non-realistic styles. When I'm talking about non-realistic styles, the thing that I'm talking about is usually anime. That's basically what the clear definition of non-realistic has been for a while now in the art world. It's some form of anime, which kind of promotes certain features, i.e., some anime characters have no noses, some just has some of this, some have just a tiny little, but none of those characters look African, because while they're Africans with really small noses, particularly East African, I usually try to challenge that and make sure that I put my African characters that have more West African features, because unfortunately, because that West Africa is where most of the slaves came from, it is kind of what is the de facto black when it comes to features. It's kind of where what is like the de facto blackness, and because of that, a lot of West African features are seen as undesirable or unattractive, because the big nose, the big lips, all that. So I have to consciously make the characters have these features and make them look interesting or attractive, which of course takes a lot of work to do. And this was something that the reason why I never really got into studying academia, like art wise. It's very Eurocentric. I mean, like everything is every aspect of education is Eurocentric, but when it gets to art, that's where I like draw the line, it's very infuriating that you're talking to your teachers and the teachers are talking about beauty and what features are attractive or what features are considered beautiful in a character. And after a while of talking, you're like, oh, you mean white people? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's what you've spent the last 10 minutes describing. without counting the fact that all the books that that is like common in academia are all like from the early 1990s. I mean, from the early like 1900s, like 1920s or so. Some are even older. Some are like from the 1800s, and because of that, they have a lot of really, really overtly racist like assumptions. And I remember like reading stuff about drawing different skull shapes relating to different ethnicities, which is like so broad. I can't even begin to explain why that's a problem. And we were talking about like mongoloid and negroid skulls, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to just skip class. Enough of this madness. Enough of these books. I am done. Gonna learn this on my own. Thank you. Anyway. Yeah. How do I want this to look? I think I could. I mean, I'm always worried that my female characters don't look female enough because I draw male characters like 90% of the time. So that's something that I need to work on. Either that or I should just give up and stop drawing female characters. Be like, well, that's enough. I tried. Moving on. This should be higher probably. Yeah, I'm going to work on this face later on. I am really hungry right now. Oh, the music has been gone for a while, but the stream is going to be over soon. I'm going to just have lunch and then come back. And then we're going to work on the face. Then let's see, work on the face. Then should I start? I don't know if I want to incorporate the character today. I think I'm going to just work on the face. Now that I know, now that I have something that I am much more happy with, I can then start working on the background and trying to make this work better. Yeah, that was gonna be cool. So this is fun. Yeah. So I'll be back in maybe an hour. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully the stream was alright visually, because I'm kind of worried about the resolution. I don't know if I got that right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.